Welcome to this episode of how to build a really kick-ass landing page. My name is Eugene. I am from Disalox, and I've put together a couple of ideas and examples, slides, and a live presentation to help you develop a landing page that's really impactful and it will help your visitors convert into sales and leads and newsletter subscriptions. I really hope that this will help you in your development. So let's get right into it. For everyone that's currently attending, you will see on the right-hand side, there's a chat app. You guys are welcome to give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, if the video is correct. And if I forget to do something like share my screen, please mention it in the chat app. So hi, Alta, how's it, Annalise? You guys can welcome everyone. See, we've got Gail and Gary. Okay, so let me start off with, I'm going to just start my share. Yeah, there we go. Okay, if you guys are chatting, you will see that the polls are private as well. So it's only myself and my moderator that will see your interactions. So I'm going to start off with just a quick sentence of what is a landing page. You guys can give me in the chat just an indication if you've worked with landing pages, but I've got a couple of polls for you as well. So if we look at a landing page by simple definition is the first page that someone will land on if they click a link. So traditionally, a landing page will be used as the endpoint for a marketing campaign. And that's usually what landing pages are associated with, is marketing campaigns. So what you'll typically do is you will create a marketing campaign on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever, and you'll do a short little advertisement there. And if people are interested, they will basically click through, and the page that they will land on is what we call a landing page. The landing page is of crucial importance because that is basically the only page that the client will use in order to make a decision to sign up or to buy your product. In a lot of cases, I also recommend that people might not even consider doing a website. They can actually just literally create a landing page. So a lot of the click funnels that you see in today's marketing, click funnels are basically just landing pages. So I can't emphasize the importance of creating the proper landing page and understanding how to develop it. So I've quickly got a poll for you guys. Let me start it off here. There we go. So I've got a quick question to get an idea of the audience. There's quite a couple of people that signed up for this webinar. Have you developed a landing page before? So please give me some feedback on the poll. I'd really like to see if you guys have some background on it. I'm fairly certain that each of us have actually been on a landing page because we click on links and we visit websites. So it's quite common. And in this case, hopefully you guys can. So thanks a lot. We've got a couple of responses there. And I'm glad to see that everyone says they want to, but they haven't yet. So, okay, so let's start. I'm going to show you, I'm just going to take you through the key components that you need on a landing page first. These are vitally important, and the message that you put on the landing page is of critical importance. And I've got practical examples for you as well in the form of screenshots of very popular sites. So the first one I want to basically say is that your landing page must immediately state your case. And in most cases, people only respond if they see a true benefit to their lifestyle, to what they want. It's all involved in their story and your why statement and all these psychological stuff. But the simple principle is try and sell a better life. So as an example, this is an example I use quite often, is a company called Thumbtack. I'm a really big fan of the web design, the simplicity. But what I want to show there is that their single statement, find local professionals for pretty much anything, is a really impactful statement that shows that you can actually benefit someone. So that's the first thing, is state your case, sell a better life. The next one I want to show you is that you need to provide proof on your landing page in the form of endorsements. So endorsements carry an incredible amount of weight. It makes the audience associate with a larger audience that's already experienced you. It will also basically, based on what the endorsements say, people will immediately associate if that is what they're looking for. So it's a really great filter to filter out the right people and the right. So here's an example from Basecamp. Again, a great thing. You'll see that they've used bold, nice, big, bold font with a small little indication at the bottom of who the commentator. I love this because it sort of pops out in your face, the importance of what these endorsers are saying about these guys. Really, really great thing. So the next thing you need to look at is to provide proof of what you're selling on your landing page. Just so that you know, I'm showing you guys little portions of a landing page, and at the end, I will show you, and there's a downloadable file for you guys to basically download, but I'll show you what the structure of the page is, and then I'll practically show you on my own website how to do it. The next thing in stating your case is to speak to the visitor's language. In other words, if you advertise a specific thing, you must put yourself in that visitor's mindset and talk their language. So this is a great example of an executive jet company, travel exclusively on your terms. So their landing page, if you land on it, they basically associate with the luxury, the lifestyle, the wealth, and even the terms that they use, exclusive, travel, that sort of terms appeal to their audience. So whatever you put on your landing page must really be impactful, right terminology. If you're obviously going to sell, let's say you sell toys, then you're going to use a completely different color scheme. You're going to use a completely different language. And even there, you might sell toys to kids and you might sell toys to adults, which will also change the terminology. So you need to be very specific on the terms and the terminology you use. I've used this one as an example, sort of on the extreme of approaching wealth and appealing to someone that can afford flying in a private jet. And you'll see the colors, the image at the background, it really speaks to the message of what these guys are trying to do. The next thing is that you need to lead with action. In other words, straight off the bat, solve a problem. One of the closest to heart examples I usually do is Airbnb. We all know them. And what I like about them is that the primary homepage is actually a landing page. So what they've opted to do is to basically not develop a separate landing page. So they're not doing marketing for Airbnb and then you click to a landing page. They actually, if you land on Airbnb, it's immediately a landing page. And what's great is that they immediately ask you, where are you, when are you there, when do you want to check in, how many guests, search, poof, which is great because they get to the point. By the time, the assumption there is by the time that someone gets to the page, they already have the requirement. And that's a really great way to advertise. So a lot of people, by the time people get onto a landing page, put marketing content on the landing page. And that's not what a landing page is for. Landing page is specifically the answer to the problem. It is not to state the problem or to do marketing for the problem. So remember that a landing page is very specific to answer someone's problem. That's why they're on the page. So yeah, well-known example using Airbnb there. So let's move on a little bit. Okay, the next thing is to basically appeal on a lead with an action set is to ask people ask what people are after. In other words, this can happen on a pop-up, but a lot of the times it can happen on a landing page, and that is to learn a little bit about your audience. So in TaskRabbit, again, they use one statement, help around the home at your fingertips, and they immediately go with, tell us what you want. A great way to engage with your audience. And again, remember that a landing page is the end result after someone's already responded to your marketing campaign. So you'll typically have your marketing campaign. The first click is your landing page. And that page, people aren't going to browse further. That page needs to immediately ask the person what they want. It needs to immediately tell them, fill in this form. It needs to immediately sort of give them the information they want. They don't want to read further on it. You'll see on a couple of further notes about simplicity, I go a little bit into that. So great thing about TaskRabbit is on their landing page, they immediately say, what do you need help with? We can help you today. A great example of asking people. Then something that's really popular on landing pages is to offer discount. If you are going to sell straight off your landing page, this is a great way to do it. In other words, asks for specials. Here's Brooklinen, great company overseas, want free shipping on your first purchase, and immediately just do questions. Now, what's interesting is you'll see that the blue button, I don't know if you can see on the size of the resolution of the screen, but the blue button says yes activate my free shipping, and the gray button says, no thanks, I want to pay for shipping. So I think it's fairly obvious how they guide the audience onto the blue button. This works quite well if your landing page is intended to convert into a sale. Obviously, you can't use this technique necessarily if you just want people to fill in something like the previous slide, where you just want to collect some information from your clients. So offering a discount on the landing page is a very cool method to do that. Okay, then your landing page must also have some portions where you inform and educate. So you can't just have sort of these single statements and headers and stuff. At some stage, you sort of need to give proper content. And we always refer to inform and educate, because you need to, people are only there to get smarter, like I said originally, where you can impact their lives, considering that they don't yet have all the information. So this is not, inform and educate is definitely not a feature dump. It is not a benefits dump. You'll see this is an example of a web development company, consistency in UI design, creativity without confusion, and they give a very short 4 bullets list with email to download. So this whole landing page, they've got statement, which is sort of your minimum design a little bit later, your minimum criteria. Then they've got the bullets list, and then they've got they also have on the left-hand side what we call a hero image, which is the image that will attract people's attention. A very good example, this can also be used as a pop-up, but obviously as a landing page, it's quite it's quite comprehensive to convey a message. So you must make it so that the customers can't refuse your offer, and you need to inform them and educate them. Then for just at the end of this is, I quickly want to just mention this, is that these 4 tips are what is the intention of what you need to remember if you develop the page. The first one is reduce friction. Reducing friction means that you need to get the customer, you need the path of least resistance. In other words, you can't develop a page where someone needs to click read, and then if they're interested, click there, and then maybe they want to contact you. In other words, that's way too much friction. So a frictionless landing page is basically where you give all the information. Again, remember the guy comes in from a marketing campaign, he lands on this landing page, and you need to give all the information and what you want him to do right there. That is what we call a frictionless engagement. And your designs, believe it or not, even scrolling up and down a page is deemed friction. So I'll show you now on the overall landing page layout what must be there. Then, very important thing is mobile is first. The reality is most landing pages, something like 70 or 80% of landing pages, are hit first by mobile devices. If you mark on Facebook or LinkedIn, in most cases, those are browsed after hours, during hours on mobile devices. In other words, the place where the person clicks your link is actually on a mobile device, which means that if he then responds to a call to action, he's going to basically open that on his mobile device. And it's not difficult in today's world. With WordPress and responsiveness, it's really not difficult to do a responsive, what we call a mobile responsive landing page, but you have to consider that is what you have to do. Then I think one of the biggest challenges my clients have is that they tend to give too much information. I do it myself regularly. I've got so much information I want to put on my page. I need to convey my message. I need to inform people a little bit more. And what I end up doing is I dump too much information on it. So you need to basically convey your message with what we call single statements or elevator pitches. So avoid too much information on a landing page. That is what the rest of the website is for. People can always browse more, read more, but your landing page is literally single statements, bullets. Avoid too much information. And then the last note I want to take on this is that you need to have people think to start a conversation. Now, starting a conversation obviously doesn't refer to a real sort of face-to-face thing. This is all digital, but it's the thinking behind it, where you need to get someone to say, listen, you've given me some information, I now have a question, and your page must basically sort of inform him of what is. So you need to put yourself in the visitor of the landing page's mindset and think, okay, if the guy reads this, definitely the question that he's going to have after this will be this. So you need to sort of preempt what the question will is fairly important, and the content on the page is super important. The text that you're writing, the bullets list. So on the layout side, I'm quickly going to take you guys through that now. On the layout side, there's a fixed design that has become very popular, and the reason for that is that it works. It works as a layout, and you'll see it all over the place. And I'm going to show you that layout now. And that's the download that you guys can do as well, is to how to do the layout. You really just have to follow the layout to do that. So I quickly have my next question for you guys. And that's very much based on the third statement there, avoid too much information. So my question that I have for you guys is, do you think less is more? In this case, on a website, remember the web is full of information. You can read up on anything. But if you land on a page, do you think it's less is more, or do you think you tend to want more information before you make a decision, or you just love browsing for information, which is something I actually do on my on my spare time. So you guys are welcome to engage with the poll there. I see a couple of answers coming in. Thanks a lot for that. Okay, so I can tell you guys that from a landing page design, less is definitely more. You can always put in buttons for people to read more, but with regards to the landing page itself, it needs to be straight to the point. Okay, so let's look at, I'm just going to have a glass here. Okay, so let's look at the layout, the design layout of a landing page. I've given you guys this as an explainer. This comes from another marketing company that I regularly get newsletters from. I love this look at this design. I don't know, can you guys see this? It might share a little bit small on your screens. You can just tell me on the chat if you guys can see that. This is, okay, so I'll quickly talk you through it. This is basically the layout of a typical landing page. The main block I want to focus your attention on is block number 1. You'll see the nice big red 1 at the top there. That is basically the image or the layout that people will see when they hit your page. I'm quickly going to, as an example, just do a screen share for you guys on one of our Disalox, our Disalox pages. And I'm going to quickly jump over onto that. There you'll see there's my Disalox page. And I want to show you that this as a landing page, as an example, follows that design layout where you've got your sort of your heading. But I want to refer to something that is a marketing term, which is that anything you want to say must be above the line or above the fold. So above the fold comes from the old newspaper terminology, where a newspaper will be folded in half. And if the papers are stacked, you only see the top half of it. In other words, you only see everything that's above the fold. So in computer terminology, above the fold refers to everything that you can see on the screen when you arrive there. So you will see at this stage on the Disalox landing page, as an example, the everything that you see above that is the heading, build your own website, WordPress site, a subheading, you see the image of the girl, and you see the form that is filled in. That does not mean the person won't scroll down, but everything above the fold must tell them, listen, read a little bit more, and then they will scroll down and get a little bit more information. So I'm going to jump back onto my design illustration to show you, but I just wanted to show you that this follows that design layout. And I'll quickly, let's quickly jump back onto okay, so from a design layout, you will see that at the top, we've got number 1, which is your main block. That is typically what's above the fold. And it starts with, at the top left, your main heading. And directly underneath that, your supporting headline. Now, those two lines, those two text lines, your subject lines, must relate directly to what you did as a marketing campaign. So if your marketing campaign used the terminology, build your own WordPress site, then that headline must almost be exactly the same. The reason for that is that if someone responds to to your marketing, they are thinking exactly what they responded to on the marketing. So you can't put them on your normal website. The headline must basically link that they responded to that on the marketing, and they're now at the page that answers their question. Then on the left-hand side, you'll see that's the hero shot that I refer to. The hero shot is the image that sort of associates with it. Generally, you obviously have an associated image of exactly what you're talking about on the landing page, and it's generally a positive, a friendly, a related image. Only one image. So in other words, you'll see that there's no background image. There's no, we call, in any large images that attract your attention, divert the person from the landing page's message. Underneath your hero shot, you have your benefits summary, which is usually a bullets list. And again, it goes straight from the headline. The guy will go over the image, he sees it's the same thing, and he'll basically go onto the bullet. On the right-hand side is actually the crux of the page, which is the number 2. So the number 2 is a form that you want them to fill in. You want them to do something. In other words, the whole thing is built up in that anti-clockwise sequence so that they end up at the form. And that form, a portion of the form must be above the line so that they can see there's something to be filled in. And again, if I quickly pop over back onto my screen for our own landing page, there we go. You will see that in that case, I'm going to take my mouse over there. I've got my main heading. There I've got my subheading. I've got my hero image of the girl sitting at the computer, and then I've got the top section of the form that they need to fill in on the right-hand side. And you'll see I've got the most basic fields at the top. I've very specifically put in name, surname, email, and mobile so that they can see, okay, there's a little bit of information I need to share with it. And then afterwards, you can basically expand. I would have liked to probably, in this case, what would have worked better would have been to move the image a little bit higher and give them access to this benefits, because now at the moment they have to scroll down, which isn't really preferable. So, okay, does just for some feedback, guys, does this make sense to you while I'm going through all this? You can just give me a thumbs up in the chat if it if it makes sense to you. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. So yeah, so just getting back to the layout, the top portion, the 1 and 2 portion is actually the primary. You can actually build a landing page purely by doing a layout for number 1 and 2. Number 3, 4, and 5 are all the supportive stuff. So if you have more to say, then someone needs to scroll down. Now, I won't say leave it out, but if you rush for time or you want to go for simplicity, you only need to do 1 and 2, the main page and the form. Number 3 is usually features driven. In other words, you'll see it's got 3, we call them blurbs, 3 sort of, it'll be icons with these are the 3 benefits or something like that. And then if we quickly look at number 4, number 4 will be the social proof, you know, the endorsements, you know, that one image I showed you guys with a nice big endorsements from clients. That's basically what you put there, so that if people scroll, they need a little bit more confidence in what you're asking them to commit to. Then they can see, oh, okay, these other guys have also committed to that. It's interesting because I think you guys are now attending this to sort of get more information on how to do your own page, but you would have been a recipient of such a page, or you would have been a visitor yourself on such a page. And just put yourself in the shoes of a visitor and the power of a testimonial. So again, testimonials are really, really cool. So, and then after that, you might have a closing statement. I don't really go for closing arguments because it sort of means by the time the guy goes all the way down, he's sort of done and dusted. I like to point people up towards number 2. I like to sort of every time, if the person scrolls down, to say that complete this form now and get them to go up again to the form. So I tend to not do number 5 myself, but the top portion of the design is definitely my go-to design layout. And I can tell you guys that it really works. I just quickly want to mention on the hero shop, a lot of people put in images as backgrounds, or they put in very large images that sort of dominate the screen. There's a term that we call a distractor image. So a distractor image is an image that basically distracts the person from the message of the landing page, even if the image is related to the topic of the landing page. The reality is that the image gives 1,000 words, and next to it, you've got only one sentence. So what happens, the reason why they call it a distractor image, is people will basically stare at the image and sort of answer their own questions based on the image. If that image is not exactly what you want them to hear, they will basically browse off. So the reason why these landing pages tend to have a single hero shot is to not create a distractor image. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you guys. I want you to visualize the 1 and 2 layout. I'm basically just going to give you guys a, here's a little link. If you guys want to download that image, you're welcome to do so. I've got on the download, I've got the full image for you with, as well as the sources where it comes from. You guys are welcome to follow these guys. It's a really great template to use. And I use it in a lot of my illustrations because it's a really cool and easy way to illustrate what we're talking about. So I've got a next question for you guys, and that is that, do you think that you are influenced by the design and layout of a page? Because the whole previous section I've now discussed with you guys the importance of layout and the message that must be on it. But I'd really like to get your input on if you're influenced by a landing page design, or do you think it doesn't really make a difference? So you can sort of put any information in front of people and they'll respond to it. So you guys can engage. Thanks a lot for the guys that are clicking on the polls. Really appreciate it. I see there are a couple of guys that said I haven't noticed the design. I think it is probably based on the success of the design because it's got a flow. So next time when you guys click on any links and you visit someone's website based on a marketing link, take note on the layout of the page. I think that you will be pleasantly surprised that the layout is literally exactly follows this layout structure. So thanks for everyone getting involved in the polls. Yeah, so if all else, if I can make you guys aware of how a landing page works. Now, if you're aware of how landing pages work, what's great is if you're a web developer, like I am, I constantly look at landing page layouts and I think, yes, this is really good layout, and I'll save it. And I'll remember next time I'm doing a landing page, I'll use that specific sample. Okay, that brings us to a little bit of a live demonstration for you guys. Some of our previous episodes, we went through WordPress, how to set up WordPress. We also have an episode on all the plugins. So at the moment, this demonstration is not to show you guys how to do WordPress or how to use the plugins. Hopefully that I don't assume you guys know how to do web development, but I hope you guys will have a little bit of a website understanding for that. So to do this, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And I just want to give me a moment here to open everything up. Just so I just have to shuffle my windows a little bit here. There we go. And I need to share with you guys. Okay, I'm basically going to share my, I'm doing this demonstration of our own website, which is a live site. At least I'm the developer, so it's not a problem for me to do. So just give me, it looks like it's sharing. Can you guys just give me a thumbs up if you can share and hear and see everything? I just want to make sure that everyone's active in it. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Okay, and if the audio is bad as well, let me know. Then I can turn it up. So this is the pages. I can just quickly take you guys through. This is the website itself. I'm running this on WordPress. This is our base site for Disalox. We host websites for people and very specifically for people that want to develop their own sites. This isn't really for someone that wants to outsource it. So on this, we've got our basic page. I tend to follow a very basic design principle and layout. And this is currently logged into WordPress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my dashboard in WordPress. There we go. Nice charts and stuff. And then I want to show you guys from a basic design point of view. I'm going to go to pages. I've got two landing pages on the website already, but I want to show you guys just from an example drag and drop point of view how you'll typically design such a page. So I'm going to create a new page. while we're busy here. Okay, and there we go. Okay, I see that I have disabled one of my plugins to just do the share. So I'm quickly going to go over just onto my sharing of my screen. And if you allow me, I'll quickly just, what's interesting is I can actually, let me show you guys. Can you believe it that I've got one of my disabled plugins now? My inactive plugins are the ones I need to use to demonstrate for you guys. Okay, I'm making it active, and there we go, and there we go. Okay, so let's get back to the screen share. Okay, back to pages, and let's create a new page here. Okay, so this is I use in my development, I use Divi Builder as my theme developer, theme development plugin. So I'm going to basically landing page demo. Oops. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over onto my Divi Builder, which is my theme building software. I just want to hide this. I'm going to go over onto Divi. It's really great if you guys don't know Divi. Very similar to Elementor. It's a theme building platform, and it's quite visual. So you can choose from existing layouts. And what's great is it's not a theme for your whole website, and it doesn't lock you down to using a theme. It's what we call a theme developer. So you can basically theme almost every page. So in this case, I'm going to build it from scratch to show you guys what it should look like. Now, you might not be familiar with the layout at the moment. It's not a big problem because I'm going to switch over onto the visual mode just now. I'm just going to start it off with the first blocks. We call them blocks. And I'm just going to say test. As soon as the blocks are there, I'll switch over onto the visual mode for you. And then you'll see. So it might look strange, purple, blue, green. These are just the blocks that build up the site. But I'm going to go over onto the build on the front end so that you can see what it looks like. The great thing about Divi is that it's got a front end builder. So I can actually look at the site and look at the look and feel while I'm building it. So now we're going to start off. You'll see it's in our visual design. If I move my mouse over, I get access to the same blue and green sections and blocks. So firstly, there I've typed in test. I'm just going to do that as my main heading. Come on now. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to modify the test. I'm just going to say, I think I'm going to do something similar to the landing page. Let's say get your own, let's say, website now. Okay, so that's my header. I'm going to modify it a little bit, make it a little bit larger font. Let's say we do, I'm going to make it a 40, and I'm going to move it to the center of my page, and I'm going to do some. Okay, there we go. So there's my heading. Now, let's just check the spelling because I do have a tendency towards bad spelling. Okay, so that's my heading. Now I want to do a subheading, so I'm going to add on a subline. And what I'm quickly going to jump over back to the design layout, that one that I want to show you guys. So the idea now that I'm showing you, the idea that I'm showing you is to create the top block, the 1 and 2. So you'll see the top one is the main headline, and then we've got a sub headline, the hero image, the benefits, and on the right hand side I'm going to set up a quick form. So let's memorize that because I can't do a dual share, but let's go back to the design. Okay, so I've got my heading, which is my main heading there. Now I'm going to do my subline. Let's say, why not develop your own website? It's really inspiring. Okay, so there's my little, subline. And when I develop your own website, you'll see it's on the left. It's a default, so I'm quickly going to change it so that it fits in a little bit better. I'm going to make the font. Let's say we make the font 20 size, double spacing. I tend to do that in. Maybe the font a little bit bigger. Okay, and then the alignment at the center as well. So now, if I go there, I've got my main heading and I've got my subheading. Now, if I do a marketing campaign and I do a Facebook post, then the Facebook post, the title of the Facebook post must basically say, get your own website now. And again, as I explained, if someone responds to that, so it's an opt-in, they say, well, this sounds interesting. If they land on your page, the page must basically mimic exactly the same wording. Okay, now I've got my heading. Now I need to basically split my design. So I've got my heading at the top, and I need to split my design into two. So with using the Divi tool, I'm basically going to create a 2-column set. And on the left-hand side, if you remember from the design, I need to do the image first. So I'm going to do my hero image. Let's say we're going to add in an image there. It's preloaded, so let's say I'm going to use this is a really nice one. Ooh, it's quite big. Otherwise, let me just use the same one of this lady. Okay, there's my image. I've put the image in. And obviously, the image must relate to someone that's friendly, that associates with getting your own website. At least she looks she looks friendly enough. Okay, then underneath that, I'm going to do my benefits. Now, the benefits is a title with a bullets list. So I'm going to add on, I'm going to add on my benefits title. Let's say there. And I'm going to say, let's say I'm going to use capitals, benefits of doing your own site. Okay, there we go. So if I scroll down a bit, you'll see it's now unmodified font still. In which case I will change the font size. Probably let's take it up to about there. It is a main title, so it's a good idea to do that. Okay, benefits of doing your own site, and then I'm going to add on a bullets list, also using text. And if you guys have any suggestions on benefits, otherwise I'll quickly think it up. Let's say you acquire really great future skills. Web brand, sell your own products. Okay, I'm just going to do, let's say, 3 benefits. Again, if I scroll down, it's a little bit small, so I'm using the Divi tool to, let's say, size it a little bit bigger. We're not going to make it as large as the benefits. Let's make the spacing. I want to do 1.8 and let the spacing. There we go. So, okay, there we have a couple of bullets lists. Again, I'm not going to make it too complicated at this stage to understand. Okay, so there's our basic page and layout design. What I would like to do is maybe between the text and the subtext and the image, I want to just put a thin line. I think from a design point of view, that would be great. So I'm going to, at the bottom of that module, I'm going to put a bottom border. There we go. It's too black for me there, so I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. From a design aspect, it's not as harsh on your design. I'll space it a little bit. I love using white space. So you see there, if I basically, let me just save this, because I'm going to publish and save it so that you can see what it looks like. Okay, so now we've got the makings of the above the line marketing message that we want to do. But we are short of the form that we want the person to fill in, the call to action. So to help out a little bit, I'm going to quickly switch over onto just my screen share again. And I want to just take it back to the design that I had there. If you look at the top there, we've got the main line, we've got the subject line, we've got the hero shot, we've got the benefits. And now on the right-hand side, I need a call to action. The call to action in this case, I want someone to fill in a form. So I'm quickly going to do a form. I'll show you guys, again, using the plugins that we use. I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys, but you guys are obviously welcome to contact me afterwards. Okay, let's go over back to the screen again. Okay, so we use a tool that we call Divi. Not Divi, sorry. I apologize. Gravity Forms. And Gravity Forms is there we go. Gravity Forms is a form generating tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly do a test form for you guys and just show you how quickly you can set up a form. Okay, I've got a test form. There we go. Okay, so this test form is something I did in a previous episode, but I can clean it out so that we can basically just start new again. Come on, there we go, and I'm going to delete that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want someone to fill in their name, surname, email, and phone. So using the Gravity Forms form development tool, really straightforward. So I'll go to advanced field. Let's say I want him to do his name and surname. There we go, poof. I want him to also give us his mobile, and we want him to give us his email address. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is the phone is not very precise, it's not very descriptive, so I'm quickly going to change that, and we're going to call this mobile, and I might in the thing say mobile number. Oops, there we go. Okay, so now this little block will, I also actually want to make it large so that it's equal size to the rest. I'm going to do the same with the email, so it's large, and then I'm going to say as a placeholder email address. Okay, now let's quickly have a look at what this form looks like. We've got name, surname, email, mobile. I'm just going to say let's just update, and I'm going to say preview. There we go. That's now this is without editing, so it's not been designed as part of the site, but you'll see using Divi as the theme builder, basically once I put the form in, it'll change the form to look the same. It's a really cool feature. It'll look the same as the design. Okay, so now I can see my form looks great. That's what I want people to do. I want them to click the submit button. I will receive a mail if they click the submit button. And now let's take this live. So this is the easiest way now to embed this form onto my landing page is you'll see that the form has got an ID. It's called form ID 5. So I'm going to go back to my page. Where's my landing page demo? There we go. I'm going to say view my landing page. Okay, so there's my landing page. Luckily, I saved it before I left the setup. Let me just go back there. Okay, so I now want to put the form I've designed in Gravity Forms I want to put on my page. To do that, I'm going to go into my edit mode again to visually edit the page. Now it's loaded. You'll see if I hover over, I've got access to all the different elements that I can basically modify. On the right-hand side, now I'm going to do a new element, and I'm going to put in a text box again. But now I want to basically have that form display. And to do that, I'm going to paste the shortcode. So a shortcode is in WordPress to use another element and display it there. And you'll see if you look at the shortcode, if I just move this box out of the way, the shortcode I use is Gravity Form ID 5, title false, description false, because I don't want to show anything else. I just want to show the main elements, the main blocks. And look at the back there, it's basically completed it for us. And it shows it. So now if I say yes there, now I've got the makings of my first landing page. And what did that take? 10 minutes. I can now go to that. I can go to save. It'll save it. And I'm going to exit the Visual Builder. And now you'll see at the top, this is now a live landing page. You guys are, if you're on your computers, if you're watching this on your computers, go to our website, Disalox, and go to the landing page. Go to landing page demo. There we go. And that's how easy it is. That is really, and there you've got the basic layout of what you need for a landing page. You can obviously build further on this. You can do all the testimonials at the bottom and stuff. But the intention that I want to show you guys is how easy it is to do a landing page, but how critical it is to understand the layout and the importance of what the landing page must contain. So this is really quite simple, but it is to the point that you can use this. I'll do a marketing campaign on Facebook, get people to say, get your own website now. If they click through, poof, there they go, and they can just basically fill in their stuff. What I haven't done is I realize now I haven't asked them the question. The question will be, please complete this form and we'll get in contact with you. But I think you guys get the idea of what I want to do. So that's sort of the end of my live demo. Do you guys have any questions? Let me stop the sharing there. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. We've got one small little section still. If you have questions, you can just pop it up in the chat for me. I'll quickly address them. And in the meantime, I'm basically going back to my design. So after my demonstration, I have basically one last question for you guys, and that is that, was today's session helpful for you guys? We went through a bit of theory. We went through a bit of the psychology behind the landing page. all the elements that's supposed to be in there, as well as the very typical layout that you need. And hopefully I was able to help you guys with a visual demonstration. I think the demonstration might have been quick, especially if you're not used to WordPress or the Divi theme builder I use. But you guys are welcome to obviously contact us, get in touch, and we can help you with that. So that brings me to the end of my session.